When the first Absolute handheld came out, the Absolute One, it was a direct competitor to the Logitech G Cloud handheld, but it was cheaper than that one, and it was more geared towards cloud gaming, streaming your games from Xbox and various other sources, right? Or services. And it was fine. I mean, it kind of served its purpose. It could do a little bit of other things, but it wasn't very powerful. But now Absolute, they've put out the One Pro, which is quite a bit more powerful than their previous version, and it's capable of doing quite a bit more. And they did send one to me for purpose of review. Obviously, they want people to buy this thing, so we're going to be taking a quick look at it. So this thing, I do like the looks of it. The previous version, they had like a white one and a black one. This one has more of a translucent smoke black shell. I really like the look of it. But real quick, let's go through the specs of this thing. So we have a MediaTek Genio 510 8-core CPU. I'll put the previous specs up on screen as I'm talking about these ones, just give you kind of a comparison. RAM, we have a DDR4, 4 gigabytes. We have 64 gigs built-in storage. You can upgrade that with a micro SD card up to 2 terabytes. The display, 7 inches, 1920 by 1080, 16:9, obviously 60 hertz. We have 10-point multi-touch on that screen, obviously Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. We do have support for 4K video output, so that's nice. We have a light sensor built into the screen, a vibration motor, linear Z-axis motor, and we do have a gyroscope built in. The battery, we have a 5200 milliamp hour battery that gives us about 8 hours of battery life there. I have tested that. That is about right. As far as ports go, we do have a USB Type-C port, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and then that micro SD card slot. This thing comes in lightweight, about 430 grams. Operating system is Android 13, and it does support over-the-air updates. Now, we also have Hall effect triggers and analog sticks, so we're not going to be getting any drift here. So very nice. Also, they've updated this thing to have an exclusive built-in launcher with a newly designed user interface, which makes it easier and quicker to access your library of games via emulation, cloud gaming, and mobile games. I do like the looks of this thing with the user interface over the previous version. The previous version just looked like the Logitech G Cloud from what I remember. So this one is very nice and easy to navigate. Everything looks clean. It's very nice. So that is really cool. And yeah, with this, you're going to be doing a lot more than just cloud gaming, but we're going to be testing a little bit of everything here. So cloud gaming is going to work, just dependent on your setup, right? I mean, I can't really speak to like everybody out there, but you're going to have a reliable internet connection. For me, it's been better lately. Back in the day, I would kind of knock cloud gaming a bit because it didn't work for me very often, but now it's more reliable. Maybe my internet's better. I don't know. But yeah, cloud gaming's been, for the most part, okay. Every once in a while, I do get some hiccups, but it's not my preferred way to play. But for some people, it's nice to have. I like when I have access to it and I don't have to pay extra. It's just something that's like part of something like, Xbox, Ultimate type of thing, where you just have cloud gaming. So, hey, that's cool if you are in a position where it's like, hey, I can jump into a game I was playing. I don't have to have the game with me or have my Xbox or PC. I have a device that can play some cloud gaming, access my library. That's cool. You can do that here. But you can also play some mobile games. So that's nice. Playing stuff like Genshin Impact and whatnot. This has a lot more powerful of a processor here. So you're going to be able to play a lot more than you could on the previous version. And the price is still fairly reasonable. It's actually still less than what they're selling the Logitech G Cloud for out there. So yeah, you keep that in mind if you're interested. Link will be down below if you want to check it out. And also with emulation, the previous Absolute handheld, you could do some light emulation. I mean, you could do emulation on any kind of Android device. So that's kind of a given. But here you can kind of up it a bit, do some PS2, some GameCube through Dolphin, stuff like that. There's going to be a lot of emulation options for you with this device. So overall, this is a decent little device, but there's still other things that I wasn't able to check out that I noticed they have listed on the website. They have something listed as in development, and I looked through the handheld to see, because I did notice like, hey, there's controller settings and all this other stuff, but there really wasn't anything I could find within the user interface. But they have a listing that says in development, all in one control settings. So hopefully they get that rolling because it does list that they'll have touchscreen mapping for unsupported games. So most likely that's going to be for mobile games that you can't use a controller for, like Call of Duty, which would be nice, right? You don't have to worry about that with Genshin Impact anymore on Android, as it has native controller support as of a few months ago. And it works with this device. You just have to select controller in the options for that game. So that's cool. But yeah, they need to get that rolling. There are other applications that you could already do that with, but to have that built in would be nice. So overall, I do like this device over the previous version, even though it really does feel almost identical, other than I do have to point out the D-pad. The D-pad looks the same and it does kind of feel the same, but when I tested the original Absolute, it was a prototype version, whereas this is a production version of the One Pro. And I didn't have too much of an issue with the D-pad. It's just not my preferred D-pad style. It's not one that I would normally want to use. It's usable, but on the original version, I did have issues with that D-pad. So either that was just a prototype issue or maybe they fixed those issues. I don't know, but I don't have as much of a problem with the D-pad on this version as I did previously. So just got to point that out. The speakers are just kind of okay. They're not very bassy or anything. It's a flooded market for these kind of things, for handhelds in general. I mean, there's a lot of them out there. So I think, these companies, they got to do things that kind of make them stand out over the rest. And sometimes it's going to be price point, sometimes it's going to be features. And this one, I mean, they've made some improvements over their previous version. It's a cloud based handheld that kind of upped it a bit as far as power goes, but it's still just an Android based ARM device. So, yeah, at $239 currently, could go down in the future, could go up. You never freaking know. But at $239, it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. Let me know what you think. If you're interested, links down below. But yeah, it's an option. It's nice to have options. Thanks for watching. Bye.